Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have more CONCACAF World Cup qualifying content. I know you guys are probably sick of it at this point, but I figured I got one more in me. Today we have a tier list of all 12 teams that participated, and I'm going to be giving them a letter grade. And this letter grade is kind of based on my own expectations for how they were going to perform. I will be slightly factoring in things like strength of schedule or entertainment value just a little bit. The tier list itself only says A, B, C, D, F, but I will be audibly giving a B- or an A+ grade, for example. Before we get into this, if you guys want to see more videos about CONCACAF, make sure you are subscribed. I will be talking about Jamaica and Suriname in the Intercontinental Playoff, and then of course, we're going to have the World Cup itself, which will be covered extensively on the channel. So again, hit subscribe, smash the like button, and of course, if I say any team grades that you guys disagree with, let me know why down below in the comments. We're going to start with Nicaragua, and I'm going to be so serious here for a second. I'm going to go B category for Nicaragua, and I think I'm going to give them overall a solid B. I mean, they finished on 4 points. Yes, they were in last, but they had Honduras, Haiti, and Costa Rica in the group. What did y'all want them to do? They won a game. They beat Honduras 2-0. Not even like a 1-0 fluke own goal. Like, kind of beat them down at parts of the game. What more did you expect from Nicaragua? They outplayed Costa Rica, came back down a goal, scored via a penalty of their own. Probably should have had another one in that game. What more are we asking for? The only downside for Nicaragua is they got truly dominated by Haiti twice. But look at the players, man. I mean, like, they're supposed to get dominated. If you don't think Nicaragua did well, you're just a hater. Oh, speaking of Haiti, we have them next. Okay. Strong contender, and I think actually will be my highest grade that I give. I'm going to give Haiti an A. Honduras away was abysmal. But I think the other 5 games, they were good to solid in every single one. And this is a team that won the group when I would say nobody outside of Haitians thought that they could do so. I would have thought that the betting favorite, it was always a tough group. Group C, group of chaos. That's what I was always saying. It was probably Costa Rica's slight favorites, mainly off pedigree. And then I think Honduras would have been second because they made the semifinals of the Gold Cup, and I think expectations were high. And then the Haitians third. So they were probably the third favorite to win the group. I don't think anybody outperformed like the Haiti national team did. And they did it all without being able to play games at home. I cannot emphasize enough how insane that is. All their home games, I think, were in Curacao. With barely any crowd at all. Just incredible work from Haiti overall. Congratulations to them. Bermuda next up. I'm going to be honest again, y'all. I'm going C-. I'm going C- because I said, borderline C, because I said when the draw happened, Bermuda will get a point. And I said if they get a point, job well done. And you know what? Thank you to the Trinidad national team for giving Bermuda a draw on the final match day. What more can we ask of these guys? I honestly don't know. And how many goals did they score? I scored 4. They did concede 23, but again, it's Bermuda. The fact that they got a point is a massive dub. They should have never, ever made it this far to begin with. They would never see this final group of qualifying if it was the traditional format. Congratulations to Bermuda for getting here. Job well done. C-. Costa Rica. This one is very easy. It's an F. It's an F. It is the biggest failure in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying history. I don't want to hear about United States 2018. This is the biggest embarrassment of all time. And it's the biggest embarrassment because your squad is pretty damn good. You clearly have potential because we saw it at the Copa America. You had a terrible managerial appointment that everybody knew could have crashed and burned immediately. You didn't sack him when you had the chance. You're bringing back the old guard. We got Celso Borges starting in a game against Haiti, for God's sake. You got Keylor Navas back in goal. Sequeira got kicked out again. Kendall Waston is coming in and being one of the top performers in the team. They tried to find the fountain of youth in San Jose. They're trying to bring back the old guard. It didn't work. The team was dysfunctional. Nobody really played well outside of one game at home to Nicaragua, and I guess 45 minutes in the first half against Haiti. This was an abysmal failure. It is the biggest failure of all time in qualifying history because you didn't even finish in second place. You don't even have the decency, or I guess the wiggle room that Honduras has to finish in second and not advance, which is still embarrassing. You finished in third place. It is an unforgivable sin that has been committed by the Costa Rican national team, something we could never allow them to forget. Suriname next up. Very difficult team for me to place because there's a couple things going on. They have a very good roster. The reason that I'm struggling to place them is because I feel like my expectation was pretty different from the rest of the world. I think a lot of people thought that they could win the group. I never thought that they could win the group. But I did think that they could push for second. And I did think it would be a battle between them and Guatemala to finish there. What Suriname did well is they took 6 points against El Salvador. What they did well is they didn't lose against Panama. But they did not play well against Guatemala in either leg. So I really don't know what to say for them. Like, I don't think it was an amazing qualifying campaign. It certainly wasn't bad. The lowest you could go is a C. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. They made the Nations League, quarterfinals against Canada. So that's something that Guatemala's never been able to get to that level. Neither has El Salvador. It's a B-, C+ campaign from Suriname overall. And actually, I'm going to go C+. So I would put them above Bermuda. I think the collapse on the final match day was really, really concerning. Are they dead? Are they not going to qualify for the World Cup? Not necessarily, because they have Bolivia, who is a terrible team away from home. And then they play Iraq, who just tend to have at least 45 minutes of terrible football in them per game. So there's going to be an opportunity for Suriname. I just think, I can't go B. Like, what is the argument for B? That they held on against Panama until the 107th minute or whenever Ismael Diaz scored the equalizer? They were worse in that game by far. Like, again, performance-wise, the points are there. Expectations were kind of high. You got a valuable team. You got a European-based squad. Needs to be a little better. You almost choked it away at the death, if not for a Samayoa own goal. C+ for Suriname. Panama, okay, I'm going to go B+ for Panama. I'm not going to go A-. It's certainly worse than Haiti. I'm thinking A- or B+ for Panama because, okay, it's a difficult thing to say. I'll try to explain here. They played decent football. Their goal scoring was non-existent until match day 5. Then it appeared for match day 5 and 6, and we saw them score, 6 goals in the final window of qualification. So that's just kind of who Panama is. I thought defensively they were worse than I was expecting at times. They were in the first game against Suriname, they were very poor defensively. Against El Salvador, they were very lucky that there was a foul on Christian Martinez, or they would have dropped points in that game. That being said, the counter is they had massive expectations. They were by far, in my opinion, the best team that was still here. Everybody was preying on their downfall. And this group, in Group A, was not easy. You got 2 Central American Derby games and an incredibly strong defensive team in Suriname that's good at the counterattack. So this could have been a banana peel and a half. We saw Costa Rica, they're out. Honduras, they're out. Jamaica couldn't win the group. Panama were the only team that were able to perform to standard, to their expectations. So I'm going to go B+. I know you guys think I'm a Panamanian simp, but I'm not going A, though Thomas Christensen still is the GOAT. Moving on to Trinidad. Okay, this one was weird, man. This one's weird. I'm going to go C-. I will say they were a little better than Bermuda. I'm going to bump them ahead of Bermuda. Here's kind of how I see Trinidad. They played Curacao well twice. They played Jamaica well at home. I think they were the better team in that game, but they're just limited. And I think the expectation for me was to finish third. They finished in third, but they only got a single win. You didn't even beat Bermuda. Oh, hold on. They didn't even beat Bermuda at home. And I know they rotated, but you're an idiot for rotating. Like, shame on you. You should be embarrassed that you rotated. So actually, I'm going to bump you behind. I'm going to go C- for Trinidad. God, it's borderline a D+. You gotta give the fans a send-off and win that last game against Bermuda. It's embarrassing. I think C- is fine. I've been told by Trinidad fans since the Gold Cup that qualification was going to be different, and this is when they were going to finally start balling out. I didn't see it, but maybe I'm just watching the games wrong. Honduras next. Oh gosh. I'm gonna go C. I'm gonna say they were better than Bermuda, but worse than Suriname. They had some really good games. Haiti at home, they were really good. I thought Costa Rica away, they did well defensively, and they were actually the better team in that game for large parts, but then they became cowards. And Rueda I mean, he had to go as Costa Rican manager. I mean, to leave your destiny in the hands of Guatemala beating Suriname by 3 goals is cowardly. And they got what they deserved in that respect. They were terrible against Nicaragua away. They were pretty good against Nicaragua at home. It was más o menos. It was so-so. But you didn't advance in the Intercontinental Playoff, which has to be a failure for Honduras. I could even talk myself into a D+. Actually, you know what? I'm going to talk myself into a D+ because I have expectations for you guys. Kervin Arriaga is a beast. You had maybe, you could argue midfield strength, Haiti versus Honduras. I know everyone's like, Belgar. Yeah, I know, but Arriaga ate his lunch in one game. Debbie Flores is also a beast. Yeah, I'm going to go D+ because you made the semifinal of the Gold Cup, and you do beat Mexico a lot, and you do have a good team, and you were in a prime position to win the group up until match day 5 when you fluffed it against Nicaragua. As soon as you lost that, you were done. And that was all Honduras' fault, and then you didn't play for the win in San Jose. So actually, I'm going to go D+ because I'm very disappointed in Honduras for this one. Guatemala next up. Oh, Guatemala next up. I'm going to say B-, maybe even a B, actually, for Guatemala overall. I know they didn't qualify. I always expected them to battle Suriname. And I think if you look at the Guatemalan campaign overall, you got to draw away to Panama City. Massive result. Huge result for Guatemala. You got to draw away. You were 20 seconds from a win against Suriname away. Huge result there. I'm not saying Guatemala deserved to win. I'm just saying they fought well. They got a point away. You beat El Salvador away. You didn't lose an away game. Guatemalans, you didn't lose an away game. You got 5 points from your 3 away games. Job well done. Where it went wrong was El Salvador at home in match day 1. That will forever be when things were derailed. And it was always going to be so difficult to come back after that because CONCACAF World Cup qualifying is really tough. And I'm going to make a future video about that. You only have 6 games here, guys. So if you drop the freebie, not even a draw, but an L to the worst team in your group, you must be flawless the rest of qualifying. And I think Guatemala actually responded decently well after that game. They weren't flawless. They were good. And good, unfortunately, wasn't quite enough for them to advance. But I think you look at Fernando Tena and what he's done with the team, I would keep him. I would stay with this project. There's something cooking in Guatemala City. And I'm not really disappointed in these guys. I actually am very encouraged by what I saw from Guatemala. I think Guatemalans should feel good about it too. The Gold Cup was awesome. Disqualification, I know it didn't end how you wanted, but there were some great moments in here. It was really just 190 minutes that let you guys down. That's it. And I guess you could have asked for more youth players to get minutes as well, but this was not bad for Guatemala. I'm going to maintain that. You didn't qualify, so it wasn't a success, but this was not a failure. Not even close for me. I'm going B for Guatemala. Y'all can get mad. Jamaica next up. Okay, this is also going to be offensive, I suppose. I'm going to go C, less than Suriname for sure, C for Jamaica, because I always thought that Curacao could win the group. A lot of people thought that Curacao could win the group, and Curacao won the group. So if the expectation was that Jamaica were going to finish second, and they finished in second, what do y'all want me to put them in F? So we did what they thought they were going to do, and you want me to go F? Well, that doesn't make any sense. No, they did exactly kind of what I thought. Dead football under Steve McLaren, long ball FC, get the ball to Cephas and pray, and a couple times he was able to score, and that was it. But you look at how they did overall, Curacao, that final game, I do think they got a little bit unlucky. I'm not going to crucify them too much for that. In the Trinidad away game, not very good. Trinidad at home, also not very good, but at least they were able to win that one. They basically beat the crap out of Bermuda twice and beat Trinidad once. I think one win in 4 games against Curacao and Trinidad, that is embarrassing. And one loss away as well, away to Curacao, which I think that always looked like the banana peel fixture for them. So I'm not too worried about that, actually. I am going to go C for Jamaica. McLaren is gone. They're in the Intercontinental Playoff. I never thought these guys were that good because they've been frauds for too long. And I mean that with all due love and respect. Jamaicans will agree with me. They want a new chapter to begin. They're frustrated with their team, and they should be. But I've been burnt too many times, right? If there's a girl and she keeps on cheating and you're surprised when she cheats again, you're an idiot. So what was the Lil Wayne bar? I'm not even going to say it because it's probably explicit, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. Curacao next up. Okay, this is an interesting one. Did they do better relatively than Panama? The group was easy. I'm going to go... I can't decide. I'm going to go B+ as well. I'm going to give them the same grade as Panama, but I'm not going to go better. Because I do think in the games against Trinidad, they got saved by their goalkeeper a little bit. I honestly don't think they were better in either game. I think they clung on against Jamaica. And at home against Jamaica, they were very good in the second half. Almost allowed Bermuda to come back as well. It's a great story, and we can say that without giving them an A+. I think it was a B+ campaign from Curacao. They did well, but they got one win outside of Bermuda. In fact, I think everybody got one. Jamaica got one win outside of Bermuda as well. So nobody in Group B really tore it up. That doesn't mean I'm insulting Curaçaoans right now. It's a massive success and a huge story. But I'm going by expectations, performance, entertainment value, circumstance, all that. So, and I know some people say, well, Jack, they're the smallest country to ever qualify. And I get that. I understand that. And I think that would mean a little bit more if all the players were local and like they were raised in Curacao and like were products of Curaçao football development. They're not. They're mainly from abroad. And that's okay. I'm not, again, getting mad at them for that. But I'm just not going to give triple bonus points for population size. I think it was a B+ campaign. If I'm the teacher, I'm giving a grade 89. 89 in your final exam for Curaçao. How can you be mad at that? Did really, really well here. I mean, I put plenty of praise on this team at the Gold Cup. I said that they were going to qualify. They qualified. Here we are. I got nothing bad to say about Curaçao. If you want to put them slightly ahead of Panama, I would argue you on that because I think the group was not that bad. I think Panama's group was really tough. But that's really where I'm at here. If they got one win against Trinidad, they were right next to Haiti. Can we say that and move on? If they get one win, they're right next to Haiti. El Salvador. Oh, this is a weird one. I'm going to go D, though, because god damn, these guys were horrible to watch. And I think they end this process as the second worst team. I think there was a debate. Is it Nicaragua or is it El Salvador who is the second worst team? Because we all knew it was Bermuda. And I think we can all confidently say, after seeing everything, that Nicaragua are better than El Salvador. And that has to be another L for El Salvador, who basically go out and just wrestle people on the pitch and foul. And surely they had the most fouls of any team, if I had to tally it up. They did get a win, and that is a big achievement for El Salvador, even though it was a little bit flukish. But then they went on to lose all 3 home games. Like, I needed a Nicaragua-esque performance at home. If they would have gotten 4 points, I would have them in the C as well. But I'm going to go, D for El Salvador. 3 losses at home is unacceptable. Not in CONCACAF, when everybody's supposed to be so difficult to beat at home. You can't be the guy who are just handing out W's to every single visiting side. You cannot, in my opinion. And their offense is literally Brian Kill and pray. It's such a bad offensive team to watch. These were some of the most brutal qualifiers that I had to put myself through. And I'm a little salty about that because it was a lot of time of my life that went towards watching El Salvador kind of play football. So I don't really know where they go from here. There were some young players who got minutes. Maybe they can rebuild. That's not really what this video is about. I'm going with a solid D for El Salvador. And here is the list, guys. I got Haiti alone in the A tier, Panama, Curacao, Guatemala, Nicaragua in the B tier. In the C tier, I have Suriname, Jamaica, Bermuda, and Trinidad. D tier is Honduras and El Salvador. And in the F, the Costa Rican national team. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Hit subscribe for more CONCACAF content. And I'll see y'all in the next one.